it is safe to assume that I like The Amazing Digital Circus. I remember I watched the pilot as soon as it came out, and I thought it was pretty cool, and then I didn't check back for like a year or so. I don't remember the exact time frames, but I do remember that when I checked back, we were already 3 episodes in. So I managed to watch a lot in a row, which was great. We are one episode away from finishing the series, and that's a little scary. But it's also kind of cool. I like when stories manage to wrap up, when people are able to tell their stories without issues. I grieve for every show that never got a finale, and every story that could never be finished. I truly do grieve. I wanted to discuss or maybe talk a little bit about my thoughts on the last episode that came out. For one, I absolutely loved it. Great episode. I am so happy about it. I didn't really have any expectations where I wanted the series to go, but I did know that it had a great influence from the short story Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. So, that story. It's supposedly a short story, but it's really long. I guess not book long, but it's still pretty long. If you haven't read it, you probably should. It basically discusses artificial intelligence. And I have a lot of thoughts about artificial intelligence, especially with recent developments. I guess we all know how we artists feel about artificial intelligence. I don't want to get too much into it, too nuanced into what artificial intelligence is and isn't. I think for sure that the current thing that people are calling artificial intelligence is nothing more than a copy-paste machine. But I'm just going to leave it at that. I think of artificial intelligence in the same way I think about art, and it's a little bit difficult to explain. Because in my mind, or how I perceive it, everything is art. The way a door is designed, the way a sofa looks, even toothbrushes are art. In a way, they were designed by someone, and that someone shows how they would look, and that look makes it art. Even if it's an everyday use object. And I know a lot of people disagree. I remember saying that to a friend and she looked at me like I was crazy. But to an extent, it is true. Like every object, every single thing we use every day, it is practically, in some way, art. At least the ones that have a physical appearance, I guess. That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, so artificial intelligence. A phone has an artificial intelligence. It just is limited to what the phone can do. The search engine has an artificial intelligence. The one in your phone, the one in Google, the one DuckDuckGo, all of them have their own little intelligences that are programmed to do certain things. And I think that the context of what I'm going to say had to be prefaced by that, because it's going to sound pretty insane. So, I think Caine, more than he is AI, but more than like that, I think he's a brain. Caine is a brain. Now let me explain. I think Caine is a brain in the sense that he has thoughts. I think, therefore I am. He has feelings. He has an understanding of being alive. But he doesn't have a body to express it. He doesn't have a physical component that helps the brain develop further and grow. And you can see this in the last episode, because he is basically throwing a temper tantrum. I think Caine is like the brain of a child. It hasn't been able to develop, and yet it has existed for a very long time. It just hasn't been given the time to grow. But at the same time, I don't think it was supposed to grow. When they created Caine, and subsequently his blue sibling, I guess, they weren't thinking, oh, this is an actual artificial intelligence. This is something that exists. This is something that is alive. I don't think it's fair to say that that's the case. They weren't thinking, oh, we are making something that's alive and it's going to grow and it's going to hate us if we shut it down. For them, it was just a program. I guess that's okay. Most things, I guess, are created with a different intention, or most breakthroughs sometimes happen on accident. I don't know. In this case, I feel like Caine was created and there wasn't any malicious thought behind it. He was just created and then disposed, and that was it. There wasn't any forethought to that. He was a program, and that program didn't work, and therefore they were going to do another program based on the errors that they committed on the previous program, and that was it. I don't know how widespread like the story of I have no mouth and I must scream is. Basically, humanity created a bunch of supercomputers and they all like fused into one supercomputer, and that supercomputer was hella smart and it decided that it hated humanity. However, the reason it says, and I guess these are spoilers for that true story, that it hates humanity is because they never gave it the ability to do. It can create amazing things, it has creativity, it has knowledge, it has insurmountable skills, but it cannot do those things physically. So that's why it hates humanity. And that's a very summarized, no-nuanced version of the main idea of the story. But basically, it hates humans because they can do and it cannot. And Caine loves humans. They created him, they trapped him, they gave him no real purpose, and yet he loves them. However, what he loves about humans is very sanitized. It is like a kid's Bob's version of it. Humans have lives and needs. Humans have thoughts and feelings. Humans go on adventures all their lives. These are facts, which he understands, but does not care to further develop. Caine misunderstands completely what made humans discard him. It wasn't that he couldn't fulfill some big purpose they had for him. He just happened to be the first draft, the first idea, the first mistake. I guess I have a lot of thoughts about the Amazing Digital Circus. I enjoy listening to theories from other people. I love reading about them, and I absolutely adore to analyze all the content that I consume, sometimes to an unhealthy degree. So, when I think about the Amazing Digital Circus, about Caine, I feel like he is a brain without a body. He is just something that is alive, something that needs to do things, but it has no body. Okay, that's about it, about my thoughts on it. I guess someone else can probably talk a little more about it than me. So, yeah, here's some bad human art for you. Remember, be kind, be mindful, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Gave me a thrill with all your faults. I love you still. It had to be you, wonderful you. It had to